We're just, this will be like our intro sequence, kind of. All right.
We're sequencing.
We're going to try to go live over here now, too. We are connecting. All right.
Connecting.
We're streaming on 2, streaming on 3. All right. We are live. This is Brian Ference. You can follow me at Brian Ference1 on X with MAGA Mind Podcast, magamindpodcast.com. And with me is
James Richard, and I'm here. You can follow me at Serencible Spoon on X.
All right, we're going to cover a number of topics. You look a little tall there, James.
I am a little tall.
I don't know. If you go down, you're going to have to adjust your microphone. But you're just so much taller than me. He is tall. All right, we're going to do our little intro sequence real quick here. Let's do this.
If I'm being real, I spent my whole life escaping the pills. If I'm being real, I think I was happier when I couldn't pay the bills. If I'm being real, I'm searching for purpose. I feel wealthy but worthless. If I'm being real, I don't know if it's worth it.
All right. And we are back. So we are doing a kind of interesting dual live stream situation, more interesting than normal, as we're live streaming from OBS Studio and then also on a mobile device. And that's a complicated story why we're doing that, but hopefully it works and we don't screw up too much. I don't think on that device that people really saw that intro video, but they heard the music. But that's okay. Also, the people on that device, you're not really going to be able to see what we're sharing. Normally you would, but you can listen and we'll talk about it and review it. But James, is there a particular topic you want to kick off with to start?
No, I think we did a little short cast yesterday, and it actually ended up being not so short. It was about an hour almost.
Long and short.
And that kind of was my main topic. Was I was just very frustrated with all of it's basically people just bitching about Trump. I mean, for no specific reason other than they hate him. Other than that,
yeah,
and I can't find another reason why that anybody would do that. But we kind of went over that in our last podcast.
We did. All right, so let's jump into one of these other topics here. Before I do that, okay, but I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to play a video. And what this is regarding, there's an ICE agent that's being held in contempt of court in a Massachusetts state court after an illegal alien was arrested and taken into custody by ICE. So during the criminal trial, I guess the judge didn't like that. So he's holding the ICE agent in criminal contempt. So let me show this video. Let me see if I can maximize it here.
Los Angeles, also in Boston, ICE there arresting another illegal alien charged with aggravated child rape. It's just the latest example in what appears to be a recurring problem in the state of Massachusetts. But instead of cooperating with federal agents, a Boston judge is now holding an ICE agent in contempt of court. This is after the agency took a different man into custody in the middle of his criminal trial. Senior correspondent Eric Sean has all the details. So, Eric, what the heck happened here?
Yeah, Bill, he was on trial in a Massachusetts state court, but the judge dismissed the case because ICE grabbed the defendant. And now that judge, he's blaming the ICE agent.
Mid-trial.
Take a look at this video of William Martell LeBron as he left court on the second day of the trial in Boston. His attorney says he is being taken by ICE agents who then stashed him in an SUV and drove away. Martell LeBron is from the Dominican Republic. He is charged with giving false information when he applied for a Massachusetts driver's license. But his arrest by ICE prompted Boston Municipal Court Judge Mark Somerville to blast the agency, accusing ICE of violating Martell LeBron's rights. And he held the ICE agent in charge of the case in contempt of court.
This is a disturbing case. This is a case of obstruction of justice. It's a case of violating the defendant's right.
His rights. Does he have rights?
He's illegal alien. He doesn't have any rights.
He's not an American. He has no rights.
Martha LeBron's lawyer, Murat Erkan, tells us that ICE and his workers illegally kidnapped his client.
All right, let's
They kidnapped the client. Come on.
let's go back to this. Okay, so man, there's a lot of problems there. First of all, the first problem I have is why was he arrested? Because he was applying for a driver's license. Okay, so illegal aliens cannot have driver's license. We talked about, Elon Musk and Doge revealed that a bunch of illegals are getting social security numbers. They're getting driver's license. That's their ID, so they can vote. They are voting. That's what's going on here. So with the judge is like, this is a case of obstruction of justice. You're right, but the judge is the obstructor of the justice because this is an illegal that needs to be deported. He has no rights to a trial or a hearing or anything. He illegally came in. He's part of an invasion against the United States. It's treason. What the judge is doing there is committing treason. He's aiding and abetting an illegal, an enemy of the United States. That judge should be arrested.
I agree. And this is really outrageous. These activist judges are just basically coming through and they're committing treasonous acts, and they believe that it's just activation. I'm an activist, and this is treason. This is out and outright treason, and I'm really frustrated because I want arrests. I'm really having a problem with.
Well, you have an arrest, and the judge is trying to get him out of it.
Well, he was arrested for something else, and now they're trying to deport him. And that's actually not the arrests I want. I want the judge arrested. I want these. There's a lot of these people that are just ridiculously crazy that they're doing this stuff. And I can't believe that this judge is just sitting back thinking, oh yeah, this guy has rights because he was an illegal alien coming in for the country, and he has the same rights as me. I was born here. He wasn't born here. He didn't come here legally. He has no rights. So how is this judge? He's protecting this man's rights, but he has no rights. No rights in it as seen in the American people. Now, how is this legal? How is this a legal thing? I don't understand it.
Exactly. I would say that judge has no standing.
Come on, somebody that's watching this and that's got more legal, put in the comments. Come on, say something and tell me.
I don't
why.
think there's any legal argument for an illegal alien to have a right to trial. I don't think there's any. It doesn't say that in the Constitution. It says American citizens.
Yes, I agree. To me, I think it's just ludicrous. But
let's ask Grok. Let's just do it. I will read it rather than show it. So let's see. Do illegal aliens have a right in the U.S. Constitution to trial? Question mark. Let's ask Grok. Grok 3. What do you have to say, Grok? Grok says. Grok has been misinformed here because he's saying the Sixth Amendment guarantees the right to speedy and public trial of an impartial jury and the assistance of counsel. But what Grok is not talking about is it's only for U.S. citizens. It's for U.S. citizens. Grok's trying to say, it's all persons within the United States. That's not true.
No,
that is not true. So Grok is sometimes wrong. Grok's wrong on the COVID-19 shot. He thinks it's safe and effective. Grok is wrong on, there's a couple things I posted on before, but this is another one. Grok is claiming that illegal undocumented immigrants have a constitutional right to trial. That's false. That is not true. They do not.
They can bid their trial after they're sent back to their country.
Yeah, outside their country. Okay, let's just read the entire Sixth Amendment of the United States Constitution. It says, in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy public trial by a impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and be informed by the nature and cause of the accusations to be confronted with the witness against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witness in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. So how is that paid for? A counsel provided for that witness? That's paid by tax dollars. That's for citizens only. If you are illegal in here and you don't pay taxes, you don't get the benefit of tax dollars. All this stuff about illegals getting, lawyers, illegals getting Medicare, illegals getting Social Security, that's all fraud. It's all illegal. All needs to be stopped.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know what we can do about that. But yes, I agree. It needs to stop. I mean, these people are not. They're invading our country, and we're just compliant. We're just like, okay, invade our country, just take our rights. I mean, I paid into Social Security my whole life, and I deserve Social Security. But just because you came here from another country doesn't mean you deserve Social Security and Medicare. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Okay, and Grok's point about, oh yeah, all persons in the U.S. Well, I asked Grok again. I was like, okay, Grok, is the word citizen mentioned in the U.S. Constitution? And yes, there are several instances. It says Article 1, Section 2. It says, no person shall be a representative who shall not obtain the age of 25 years and been 7 years a citizen of the United States. Article 1, Section 3, it says, no person shall be a senator unless they've been 9 years a citizen. Article 2, Section 1, it says, no person except a natural born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible to the office of president. Neither shall any person be eligible to the office who shall not attain the age of 35, blah, blah, blah. And then, let's see. It's mentioned in Article 3, Section 2. Between a state and citizens of another state, between citizens of different states, between citizens of the same state claiming lands. Article 4, Section 2, the citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in several states. And the 11th Amendment, judicial power of the United States shall be construed to extend to any suit or law or equity commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state. So, geez, why would the U.S. Constitution mention that you have these rights only if you're a citizen? You're a citizen, you're a citizen. It's clear that non-U.S. citizens do not have the right to a trial. They do not have any of these rights. You have to be a citizen.
Well, our laws are based off of the English common law.
Mm-hmm.
And in English common law, there's definitely no reference to illegal aliens.
Right.
So you're either, if you're here illegally, you're just deported. I mean, in England, that's the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not now because they're corrupt communists now over there. They're Muslim. They're all, England and France and Germany are all Muslim now. So they don't follow English law anymore. They follow Sharia law.
Right. The Caliphate of England is what you're referring to.
Yes, exactly. But in the old English common law, there was, you were either a naturalized citizen or you were removed from the country, because that would be considered an invasion. If you came into this country illegally, you're invading their country, and that's the way that they felt about it. So we're following that law. So that's the way we should be following the law. We should be following it the way it used to be. That's illegal. It's illegal for you to come into our country. So you need to go out of our country. And if you have a problem, you can file a lawsuit and you can come back. You can fight it in the courts, but you're illegal, so you have no legal right to be here.
Right.
So you're an invading person. So get out and then file your lawsuit.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well, let me just test my levels. Test. Okay, good. No, I agree with you completely, and you're absolutely right. And I mean, that's kind of the problem, is that there's been this purposeful misrepresentation of the law because the Democrats want the illegals voting in an election. That's the only way they can win elections, is to steal them, just like was done in Wisconsin. A lot of really fraudulent stuff is coming out about that Wisconsin race. So let's talk about that for a second. In Wisconsin last night, the referendum for enshrining voter ID, which is something Democrats hate. They hate that. They hate the voter ID.
Yeah.
Because it prevents illegals from voting. And that was enshrined in the Constitution, and that passed by a wide margin in Wisconsin. So that passed. But we're expected to believe that the Democrat Supreme Court candidate in Wisconsin lost. So why would they vote for something? Oh yeah, we really want this voter ID, something that Republicans love, Democrats hate. Yeah, that passed big time. But we went ahead and voted for that crazy communist Democrat Supreme Court judge. It doesn't make any sense at all. And let's see, I've got I think I have something to share on that. Let's see. Oh, I might have deleted it. Well, anyways, yeah, I deleted it, but there was a comment, and I have not yet verified these voting statistics, but the claim is that more people voted in Wisconsin for that Democrat Supreme Court judge or justice than they did for Kamala Harris for president in 2024. Is that believable?
How did that happen?
In an off presidential election year, when people typically don't turn out as much, more people voted for that communist Democrat judge than they voted for Kamala Harris for president. That's strange. That seems strange.
That does seem strange.
Maybe it's all the illegal aliens with their IDs that are voted.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah, and I also blame Scott Pressler, Charlie Kirk, and Turning Point for their back-to-back monumental failures in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. Clearly, ballot chasing, door knocking, early voting, mail-in voting, none of that works. And they're just grifting money, delivering losses one after the other, because they tell you, shut up, don't talk about voter fraud. Shut up, okay? We're just going to vote harder, we're going to grift harder, give us more money. That's what we need.
Yeah, that's the solution. That's always the solution the government has. Throw more money at it. That will solve all our problems. Just give me more taxes.
Yeah, and
tax me more, Daddy.
I want to give a shout out to Badlands Media, because Badlands Media, they talked about my post about Scott Pressler live on their show last night.
Oh, that's nice.
In fact, just because I like to do things on the fly, while I stall here, I'm going to bring up that clip of Badlands Media, and where they talked about a couple of my articles. I can bring it up probably even faster if I do it this way. Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna go. Here's the link to the Rumble video. All right, let me share this. I have to fast forward it to approximately 1 hour in this. They did a long show. 1 hour and I think it's 1 hour and 34 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna go right there. Oh, let me get this.
He's the name.
Let me get this buffered up. All right, so let me show this. That's a little bit too far. We'll go right about here. We'll see if that picks it up. All right, let's watch this. Again, this is Badlands Media.
As he said that.
Why can't you share this? Alpha, can you share your screen?
He doesn't want Gonna be a bunch of waifu stuff.
I don't want any.
They have like 7 people on the show. Right?
Wow.
It's a lot of people.
You take all the.
Now we're gonna have to get more people on the show so we can compete.
Yeah.
And Dreidel. I'm the chosen one.
Just wait till they find out that I'm Netanyahu's nephew.
All right, there it is.
All right, Brian Ference at Brian Ference 1. Breaking news. This is the guy he's been posting a ton of stuff on Presto. I don't know what his background is, but he brings receipts, so I respect that. Breaking new article by Kartik Pratap. Am I saying that right? Estimates Scott Pressler's annual income at $700,000, while he inherited a free $550,000 home and has a net worth of $4 million. The CA Club India article also identifies Pressler as owning a $320,000 apartment in downtown Pittsburgh. Let's not forget the three $100,000 diesel Suburban Pressler received in 2024. Then there's a link that probably goes to something that references that, I'm sure. Others have identified that Pressler owns another home in Pennsylvania, which he is currently selling. It seems this, quote, homeless dog walker who picks up trash, end quote, is cashing in big time. And then this is the thing that I think you were waiting for somebody to read. It's a screenshot of the persistence at Scott Pressler. I stand by my comments. You are wrongfully telling people the election was rigged when it wasn't. You have no evidence that there was any wrongdoing in this election. And there's an article, Scott Pressler denies election fraud as PAC raises nearly $7 million. Pennsylvania Senate loss held for 46 years.
That I stand by my comments posted from the Pennsylvania election. I think not from the one today. That's it.
Yeah, that was from Pennsylvania.
Yes, yeah. This is from Pennsylvania one. And what's funny about the Pennsylvania one, that was Lancaster County, and I went and I found
Just a few more minutes of it.
Last year, or not an article, a post from I think last year from Scott Pressler, where he had actually said that he had found election fraud. He's like, or he had found like whatever. There was something with the voter rolls were screwed up in Lancaster County, and he had tagged people in it, and he had brought attention to it. And it's like, and then that exact same district, the people who were cheating that he called out for cheating a year ago still won the election, like the special election. It's like, dude, how can you not say that there is something wrong with the elections when you're calling it out a year ago? The people you're calling out are still winning the election. You're calling them out for cheating, and then they're still winning.
Because his entire incentive structure is based on elections being real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the other one that I linked in here, John, was this one. This is from the same guy, Brian Ference. This breaking early vote action PAC created by Scott Pressler revealed to receive multiple Rockefeller donations totaling at least $118,000 in 2024. And then there's a link to Open Secrets, which is the site that lists this stuff. It says the Rockefeller family is one of the most prominent and wealthiest in American history, with a history of allegations of corruption and misuse of influence over global systems, including control of the Federal Reserve and global banking through Chase Manhattan Bank, including creation and control of the U.S. Federal Reserve in 1913, involving big pharma, medical industry domination, suppressing natural remedies, and profiting from patented drugs through the Rockefeller Foundation, New World Order through Council on Foreign Relations, yada, 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 Trilateral Commission. But here's the sauce. So there is a William Gordon Rockefeller from Little Rock, Arkansas. He gave $18,000 in August of last year. And then there is Lizine Rockefeller from Little Rock, Arkansas, and he gave $100,000 in October of last year. So
I'm taking a couple of things away here. First of all, I understand why Wisconsin Supreme Court is trending on your timeline, but why is Chloe in Wonderland?
So they're going to talk about Charlie Kirk in like just 2 minutes.
This is my burner account. This is the account that's suspended. So
Okay.
A little bit longer.
I got suspended from, or kicked off a Twitter banned or whatever from
I like this guy.
the Sound of
I
Freedom.
know what his
stuff
name is.
because,
I can't quite see it from here.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna track him down. He's cool.
Account is like permanently linked the account that I use, or the browser that I use for StreamYard. So I'm trying not to like cross him over because I think Elon will figure out who I am and then kick me off again.
Probably a good idea. So the other thing I'm taking away from this situation is that I'm totally doing this thing wrong. Like, because that wrestler is cleaning up, like, all over the place. And obviously the connections to the Rockefellers are super sus.
Yeah, I'm obviously
So, I mean, that just
doing
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
What would you change to be more like Scott Wrestler?
Well, it sounds like I should just totally sell out because then I would just be like totally taken care of by the very people that we're trying to fight against. I mean, the Rockefellers, the Rockefellers do not just like take up causes that are noble and justifiable. Okay, I mean, like the Rockefellers are some of the most nefarious people that you can find in American history, and for them to have like directly given money. Like, it's not like they gave indirectly through, like, another organization. Like, they gave to Scott directly. So, like, how did he get into a room with the Rockefeller family?
Do you really want to know the answer?
I don't know that I really want to know, but I mean, like, I think it's worth asking the question. And that's something we should put Alpha on because, you know, all of the salient details he can put together.
Well, I can see his name
I
now.
kind of want to go back to
Ghost
I
was
know
that, I
we
guess.
mentioned it, but kind of gloss over what Chris brought up
Ghost.
about
Ghost.
the Charlie Kirk, that line in the Charlie Kirk.
Sorry, Charlie Kirk.
Something that Chris talks about in time. You know, we're talking about Scott Wrestler and all that. It makes sense, but the central argument, like, what is the first principle? We always talk about first principles, right? Usually, it's from a proactive, positive stance. We're talking about truth, justice, etc. But the principles of the enemy exist as well. And this is what we're always trying to get to the bottom of, is that strip away whatever money's coming in, strip away all that kind of stuff, of who we theorize and Rockefellers and the rest of it. Charlie Kirk is telling you in his own words that he believes the way we are going to beat the system is to literally do all of the same things that got us into this place, that built the system, more, but more. It's not even like, oh, we're going to do them and then we're going to reform the system. They're telling you in their own words, and Chris always talks about this, they have no desire to reform the system. They just want to control the system and control you through it. And they're now just telling you that.
It's the vote harder.
And they are the organization.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
it's just
asking
amazing.
for quarter money.
All right, let's go ahead and pause it there. So yeah, shout out to Badlands Media. Thanks for featuring my work and shouting out to me and then talking about the same things that we've been talking about.
Yeah, I know. It's exactly it. I mean, it's almost like as if we should just coordinate with them and have one big podcast.
Yeah, let's have like a 30-person podcast. 9 people in the show. Those are rookie numbers. Come on, let's have like a 30-person podcast.
Well, it is. It's what's crazy is that, if you look at what they're doing, they're trying to depopulate the world. They're really making a huge effort, and we have people that we think, that at least I think, are on my side, and they're not.
Right. Right. Well, that's like the definition of the word grifting. The definition of the word grifting, if you look it up, it's to obtain either money is the first thing, obtain money, or something like fame or power through dishonest means. So in order to gain money or power or influence, I'm going to lie to you. And really, that's what Scott Prosser has done as an example. He was like, okay, how can I make money? And if you remember from his history, he started off as like, oh, he was cleaning up trash. I'm gonna just clean up trash. Now, this is not, like I said, a homeless dog walker that picks up trash. His dad's an intelligence officer in the military and the government. He inherited a $550,000 home. I mean, clearly there's some money and wealth in that family. And for some reason, he's out there, oh, I'm living out of my car and picking up trash. I mean, that is op. I mean, the goal was to prop him up and let's get him famous. How can we get him famous and making money? And so they started off picking up trash, and then he was involved in the Democrat walk away campaign. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. There's a bunch of Democrats, and they organized like a walk away thing that not under Presser. Presser kind of like clung on to that. He was trying to ride them up to popularity, and then he kind of got his own shtick, which was to use the word shtick, I guess. That was to
That's a Yiddish word.
a Yiddish word, yeah. That was to register voters. Even though some of my articles, if you view on Twitter at Brian Ference 1, we disproved the effectiveness of his registering Amish voters to vote. I mean, it was useless. The vote totals didn't change anything. It was all just smoke and mirrors. It was a PR stunt. It didn't change anything. And that's how Scott Presler got all that money, those millions of dollars, that free $100,000 car. He's like, how can I be rich and famous? It's no different than, what's that Dylan guy that he was like the Bud Light spokesperson?
Oh yeah, he transitioned, and he was he was a performance artist.
Right, because he's not really, he was just like, what do I have to do to be really popular? What do I have to do to make money? And then that's what he did. And Scott Presler was the same way. He's like, oh, there's some people that like Trump. I'm going to go out there and say I love Trump. Trump's amazing. Yeah, we got to fight for students' rights and fight for the children. And I'm going to smack my microphone around a little bit more. All these things. Even though in his personal lifestyle he doesn't adhere to those. He doesn't follow those.
Yeah, if your morals will change based off of other exterior or just anything, then your morals are just a mask. They're not really your morals.
We do have a comment from AZ Election News. Hey, AZ Election News, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. AZ Election News says, thank you for exposing Turning Point Action, Charlie Kirk and Scott Presler. Keep up the good work. Well, you are welcome. We definitely appreciate you. I don't think I can respond because that's through X. That comment came through, but thank you, AZ Election News. I know we message and comment a lot on each other's X posts, but I appreciate it. And I think, the word's getting out on both Charlie Kirk, Turning Point, and Scott Presler. I mean, the example is Badlands Media. Their podcast, it's a pretty nationwide podcast, a lot of subscribers. I think they have 80,000 subscribers or something like that. So the word's getting out. I appreciate them showing my work. I appreciate AZ Election News. Thank you as well. Again, this is MAGA Mind Podcast, magamindpodcast.com. I'm Brian Ference. You can follow me on X at Brian Ference1 and
James Richard, and you can follow me at Sir Runcible Spoon.
All right. Thank you. And now we're going to go to another topic. This one, we were talking about aliens, illegal aliens.
Yes.
We're going to transition, and we're going to talk about real aliens. I don't think aliens exist. I mean, first of all, you think aliens exist, don't you?
No.
You don't think they exist?
Well, I believe that there are aliens in the universe, but aliens are not here. I mean, like people say, "Oh, the aliens built the pyramids."
That's exactly what we're going to talk about.
That's not true.
All right, so let me show. So first of all, there's a video which I always love these TikTok videos where there's like a girl that looks like she's crying in them. Just they're so dramatic. I mean, it's hilarious. But this is from Shadow of Ezra, and he's talking about the radar scans that reveal an extensive network of mega structures beneath Giza's second pyramid. I don't know what the second pyramid is. That's not the one with the...
Well, you have the Great Pyramid.
Right.
And then there's the pyramid, which they classified as the Queen's Pyramid, which was next to it, smaller.
Okay.
That's the second pyramid.
That's the second one. Okay, good. Thanks for providing that context. Including a spiraling cylindrical formation stretching over 1,970 feet deep. That's pretty deep.
Yeah.
2,000 feet deep. Among the findings are 8 massive tubular wells. 8 tubular wells leading to an underground cubic chamber, fueling theories that the pyramids once supported an advanced energy system. And this video talks about preliminary evidence suggesting a highly complex underground infrastructure. Let's watch this video. Probably just going to be dramatic, but let's see what it says.
People are literally not going to believe what they've just found underneath the Khafre, the middle pyramid in Giza. I can't believe it myself, but I'm going to show you. There was a press release yesterday in Italy from Filippo Biondi and Corrado Malanga. They have written a paper which has got all the results of their synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography, which is a SAR radar scan. So basically using sound waves, I believe, they have scanned deep inside the middle pyramid and all underneath the structure, and then from the results they are able to create like 3D models of what they think the sound waves are showing. And I can't talk, I'm so excited. But underneath the pyramid, they have found 8 huge cylindrical structures that are aligned perfectly in twos. And so there's 4 pairs of them, and they go deep into the earth. So this is the 3D recreation of what the SAR scan shows.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see these 8 cylindrical pillars that go deep down, and then each pillar is surrounded by like a circular path or walkway or tube. Okay, this is not all. This is the beginning of it. Not only that, at the very base of the pyramid, like ground zero of the pyramid in the center, they have found 5 of these kind of stacked chambers, which are identical, look like they're kind of identical in size and form as the king's chamber of the Khufu pyramid, the one next door. So these are made with huge blocks of granite, red granite that was brought hundreds of miles away to the Giza plateau and stacked very specifically in this sort of horizontal sandwich with a convex. Oh my gosh, what's the roof? The roof's on the wall. There we are. Vaulted ceiling. A vaulted ceiling. I'm way too excited. So 5 of them. 5 of these chambers just chilling in the middle of the pyramid. And then 8 cylindrical, massive underground structures that go deep down. And what is under that? I'll show you. So 4 of these cylindrical structures looking deep down into the earth, they go into 2 square sort of chambers, 2 square empty spaces, which are 80 meters by 80 meters wall to wall. Each of these square chamber walls is 80 meters identically all the way around. Perfect square chambers with 4 cylindrical shafts going into them, or pillars, whatever they are, cylindrical structures with winding, coiled, maybe a walkway. We're not exactly sure. This is just what is showing up from the scan. Oh, and I'm sorry, did I tell you how deep these cylindrical tubes go under the pyramid? 648 meters. 648
I think it's about 2,000 feet, right?
Under the main
That's
pyramid.
about 1,000.
And then you hit the
1,940.
chambers.
What?
And
1,940.
This is
that would be
a
it.
map of the whole of the Giza plateau. So in the center, this here is the chambers that are in the center pyramid. The cylindrical chambers going down to whatever's going on 648 meters down here. There is evidence that there are more structures that go on for 2 kilometers underneath the Giza plateau, all interconnecting underneath all 3 pyramids. And apparently there's going to be more press releases. This is just the beginning. The team are going to do some more press. This is so exciting.
She's really
One
excited
thing I will
about
say
this.
is that the idea that the pyramid was,
I am too.
was just a tomb.
Well, that's why we keep watching. There's about a minute left.
You need 648 meters of perfectly aligned north to south pillars that go into an antechamber that then connect to an underground network of duct. A bit excessive, isn't it? Just for a tube. I'm going to be following this very closely, and if I find out anything more, I will bring you the information. I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy hunting.
All right. Well, that was extremely interesting. Tell me your thoughts.
Well, I know this is something that you don't believe in, but
That's okay.
humans have existed. They have proof that humans have existed as we are today for over 1 million years. The problem that we're finding is that where's like their houses and things like that. And if you go back, and I've said this before, there's an event called the Younger Dryas event, which is actually documented in the Bible as the Great Flood. But in the Bible, they don't really talk about what was before the Great Flood. And those are the missing books that have been removed from the Bible. They don't want you to know what happened before the Great Flood. The Bible basically says that humans were created 10,000 years ago, which is when the Great Flood happened, which is coincidental that we would be created at the same time as the Great Flood, so it's kind of coincidental. Now, when you're talking about these structures and things, like, this is aliens. No, it's not. I mean, if we've been around for a million years, you would think that for thousands and thousands of years, we would have grown to have some sort of technologies. And these technologies, like building the Great Pyramids, these are technologies that we lost over time. And if you figure the Great Flood, which happened exactly 12,800 years ago, and when that happened, the levels of the ocean increased 400 feet. So any evidence that we had like cities or things like that, most of our cities and most of our developments are all on the coast right now. So if the sea level were to rise another 400 feet, which it's not going to happen because there's not enough water left. But if the sea level were to rise another 400 feet, I mean, basically Florida would be gone. Hawaii would be underwater. So if 400, if you go back 10,000 years ago, everybody lived near the coast, which is where everybody wants to live now. All the evidence is 400 feet underwater. So, I mean, and then what they're trying to do is they're trying really hard to prevent people from realizing that there was a high advanced technology that existed 400 years ago, or it existed 40,000 years ago. So we've been around if you look at the evolution of intelligence grows based off of a logarithmic scale. The more you know, the more you can know, and it increases logarithmically. So if we've been around for 1,000,000 years, it would take a long time for us to get to be an advanced technology. But if you go back 10,000 years and you think, wow, that's pretty interesting that we did not do anything. We were lived in a cave. We were just basically grunting, poking things with sticks 13,000 years ago. And then magically, 10,000 years ago, we have agriculture. We know how to herd cattle.
The internet.
That's 10,000 years from then.
Yeah.
But I mean, we just magically had all of this stuff just happen 10,000 years ago. That's just unpractical. We had to have a period of time where we had to learn all this stuff. But that period of time didn't exist. We went from living in a cave to having agriculture within 1,000 years. That's not practical. That does not make sense to me. Now, if you go back, let's say 40,000 years or 60,000 years, there's this stuff called bitumen. Bitumen?
Bitumen?
Bitumen is basically, it's a black substance that is like an epoxy.
Okay.
And it's like a natural way of using epoxy. And they have evidence that they use this for all types of things. And it was very, very well used over a lot of different areas. And they found it all over the place. Now, bitumen is complicated to make. It's not an easy thing to make. And they made that 60,000 years ago. You have evidence of like shoes and and clothing, stitched clothing, and using different kinds of stuff. And that's 60,000 years ago. So, she's
Daisy fell asleep.
So we have, we're basically denying our history, and they're trying very hard to deny that we had anything happen before that. So what they're going to try and do with this is they're going to deny it. It does not exist. It cannot exist. It's not possible for this to exist because, we didn't have the technology to go 1,000 feet underground, digging with pickaxes made out of stone and some bronze. I mean, that's impractical.
So the fact that these structures exist under the pyramid isn't like impossible if you look at it through the lens of the history books.
Right. The history books are wrong.
So what is it though? What are these structures?
Well, we need to go down there and find out more about it.
Well, I'll hold on there. So on that thought, there's another video on it. This is claiming that there's a vast underground city beneath the Giza pyramids.
Why would they evacuate their underground city if it was such an extensive city and so well made? Why would they evacuate it?
I don't know.
Well, the sea level rose 400 feet. If the sea level rose 400 feet, that means the groundwater underneath this area would increase, which means that this whole area underneath of there is flooded.
Let's open this other video. Let's just see if there's anything interesting. I'm going to fast forward a little bit if it gets the same
pyramid shit that's just come out. Oh, this is insane.
Yeah, that's on Joe Rogan. They were talking about it. All right, so let's fast forward a little bit.
Of course, several pillars, and all of this is like very, very, very weird.
Yes. Very weird. That's what Joe Rogan says. It's weird. This is weird, guys. Let's see. Here's a little video.
And geometry, so you know it's real. I'm going to appreciate dramatic entry. Project Unity.
It's kind of weird.
What has just been announced in relation to the pyramids at the Giza Plateau and the plateau itself is so incredible, so awe-inspiring, and narrative-shattering that I have been sitting here for the last hour trying to wrap my head around the implications of what we were just told. So this is pretty much breaking news because new findings were announced on the 16th of March at a press conference held by the team who were studying the Great Pyramid with a non-invasive technology. It was first developed by Filippo Biondi.
Let's fast forward. Who developed it?
Of the pyramid's interior and subsurface components. The recent findings from deploying this technology are nothing short of mind-blowing because what's been discovered is that there are huge structures.
Yeah, we've seen that. There's the structures. There's the coils.
Gives the official narrative. You find it.
Now, see, they have.
Yeah, let's pause it there.
They have the official narrative of what's going on, and there are entrances into this underground city that has been known by the population in that area. You know, the average people. They found those, and they've been down in there. They've gone down into it, and it's all flooded.
Yeah,
because
is it underwater? Is there
right now? It's underwater.
That's crazy.
Because the groundwater level rose because of the sea level rise. So yeah, the groundwater level is probably only I think about 50 or 60 feet. It's not really very deep now.
Well, they're gonna have to send some cave divers in there or something. Right?
Well, yeah, I don't know if they want to have actual people going down there, but you can get those robotic machines and get down in there. I mean, this is extensive, and if this is proven to be true, which I believe it is true, then that kind of changes our idea of the history of mankind. Because right now, basically, academia has basically said, we only are 10,000 years old. That's it. We cannot be older. It's not possible. And if you go to like Graham Hancock, he talks about a lot of this stuff as ancient civilizations. And the whole idea of what the pyramids are and what their function is completely different than what academia has said. Academia has basically said it's a religious thing. It's a pharaohs were buried there, but there's no evidence. There's no evidence of pharaohs being buried there. There's no evidence of anybody being buried in any of the major pyramids anywhere in the whole world. There's no evidence. Now, if you go into the Great Pyramids, there's no markings on the wall. There's no hieroglyphs on the wall.
It seems strange.
Which seems strange, yeah. And they found some sarcophagi that were buried. They're deep within the. I don't remember which one it is, and they found markings on them. But the markings are, you got this thing that's polished. It's made out of black granite, which is one of the hardest granites around. And it's polished perfection. It's absolutely perfect, 90-degree angles. The everything, there's no scratch marks on this whole thing. But yet you find hieroglyphics carved in there very crudely, like as if I did it myself. I mean, it's with a chisel and hammer and crudely done, and they're all badly made.
It seems strange.
It does seem strange. It's very, very unusual that this would be in the sarcophagi would be marked, and it's marked as we found this. It's not marked as this is the resting place of so and so. It's basically saying this pharaoh found it. And it's like a lot of.
So it's like John was here.
Yeah, it's sort of like that.
Scrolled on the national monument, carved into the wall.
Yeah, and the pharaoh requested it. Pharaoh basically said, "This is mine. I found it, so it's mine." And that's the thing with a lot of the Egyptian hieroglyphs and stuff like that. They don't actually say how they built the pyramids. They say that they inherited the pyramids. So it was from an advanced technology that was long gone, long before we got here. And if you look at some of the evidence within the pyramids, like they have steps that go down into this pyramid in some of the areas, and especially in some of the areas where the pharaohs were actually buried in the pharaonic burying ground.
Pharaonic, I didn't. Yeah, I've heard that before.
You've never heard pharaonic?
Pharaonic.
Yeah, means
pharaoh-like.
Pharaoh ownership.
Pharaoh ownership.
Pharaonic. Yes, and some of those areas, if you look at the steps that went down into some of these areas where they were buried or they performed rituals, you'll notice that the steps are actually like melted.
Melted? Yeah,
they have. The rock looks like it's been melted away. Now, how could rock will melt at something like I think it's 2,000 or 3,000 degrees. So how could you have 3,000 degree right there? I mean, how did that happen? The melt, just the steps and the edges of the entrance are melted.
That seems very strange.
Right, it does seem very strange, and that. There's no way to prove it because you cannot carbon date rock or you cannot date rock in any way. So how do you know when this happened? But according to some of these people, and I kind of believe it, is that 12,800 years ago we were struck by meteorites, and if you're hit by large amounts of meteorites when they hit the ground. They'll produce 3,000 degrees.
Well, that's why they started that whole Stargate series off of the pyramids, and there's aliens and I don't know if you remember that show. Did you ever watch that show or that movie?
I watched the movie. I didn't watch the show.
Well, it's basically the same thing, but the show went into some more details. So what would happen is when the giant alien spaceships would land, they would land. They had a giant, like, cone-shaped hole in them, or pyramid-shaped hole, not cone-shaped, pyramid-shaped. They come and they land on the pyramid, and then they would stay there, and then that's where their ship was. So the pyramids were literally just like a landing pad for
Right.
them to keep their ship on when they landed.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. There's evidence though that in some of the pyramids were used for agriculture. They were used to create like nitrogen and other chemicals that are used in agriculture to help the agricultural systems, and we still use the same basic principles today in our systems, but they have the same principles going on, but this was thousands of years ago. Now they're saying that they're 5,000 years old. They're not 5,000 years old. I mean, if you look at just any modern city or anything like that, once the original owners leave, somebody's going to come back in and take over, and they're going to take over that thing. Now, which one was the one who built it? The original people or the one that take over? I mean, if you take over that area, all the evidence from the originals are going to go away because the people that are taking over it are going to.
Are you talking about when they demolitioned Jeffrey Epstein's house and built a new house on top of it?
Well, not really talking about that, but that's basically the same concept. Is that they try to. They're basically the new people that come in are going to remove all evidence of the old.
Right.
And the things that they can't, they're going to take ownership of it like they did in Egypt. Right. They just write their name on it and say, "This is mine."
Yeah.
But so I believe that there's an advanced technology that we had, and that's basically where we get the whole concept of the Great Flood in the Bible, is to wash away the evil from the time which was before the flood. And we don't have evidence of what happened before the flood. So either they found it and they're keeping it completely quiet, which I believe. I believe there's a lot of things in the Vatican that we could find a lot of history that dates back far beyond 10,000 years in the Vatican. But they won't tell you that because the Bible says that we're 10,000 years old. So they can't disprove the Bible, so they have to hide all that evidence.
Well, that's I know we don't agree on that topic, but anyways, let's go on to another one. But that fascinating stuff about the pyramids and what's underneath it. It's really is very fascinating.
I'm waiting. Once they go down in there, they actually go down and start looking at it. That's what's going to be different.
Yeah.
They've also done, which I haven't seen yet, but what they're using is penetrating radar, and the radar basically is sent down from the satellites, and they retrieve the radar through different means. But they have ground penetrating radar, which they are supposedly they're doing like now. I haven't heard anything about it, but they're actually taking they use the similar types of receptors, but they have like bombs. They have like huge bombs, and they explode these bombs in certain areas.
Well, that's different.
They blow up. They basically set off bombs, and the bombs will create a sound waves that go down into there, and they reflect off different materials, and they come back up, and that's how they find a lot of oil reserves.
Bombs.
They use bombs.
They throw bombs in the ground.
No, they set the bombs off on the surface.
Oh, surface bombs.
They surface bombs, but the sound waves reflect down in there.
Okay.
And the waves go down through and reflect back. And if there's stuff underneath there that will reflect the sound waves, then you can map that. And that's what I think they said that they were going to do that next. So I don't know if that's actually happened.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it just happened. It was March 16th or something. So we'll give them some time. But All right. Anyways, let's go to another topic, but we'll come back to that one. All right. So this is, I guess it's pronounced Kenekoa the Great. And he says, this is from a little while ago, but it's the Attorney General Pam Bondi, who we talked about several times, of the FBI. This was like, they're working around the clock to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. And they said they have tens of thousands of pages of documents and hundreds of victims. And they've been working around the clock, just around the clock and around the clock. And then, they're going through that. I heard before also that they had like teams of FBI agents, like 1,000 FBI agents, Let's listen to this video for just a second here.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Maria. Tens of thousands of pages of documents and hundreds of victims of Jeffrey Epstein. So the FBI, they have been working round the clock at my directive, at Kash Patel's directive. Now Dan Bongino's there, who is a great asset for all of us at the FBI as well. But yeah, we have to protect their identity, their personal information to make sure they're safe. But other than that, we are releasing all of these documents as soon as we can get them redacted to protect the victims of all of these horrors.
Okay, so first of all, this was posted March 23rd. So we're about a week after that. That's roughly when the video was, when this first came out a while ago. So they've been working around the clock for weeks now with thousands of agents redacting, just blacking everything out under the excuse of protect the victims. I think these files are never coming out. They're never coming out, and when they do come out, if they do, I don't think they are. They're going to be fully redacted. Everything's going to be blacked out, and you're not going to see anything. It's just a big nothing burger. And Pam Bondi is a total failure and should resign.
Well, I don't agree with the resignation part, but I agree with them just everything else.
Jail then.
No, I don't. I mean, she was hired to do a job.
She's not doing it, so she should be fired.
But she reports directly to Trump.
Well, Trump should fire her.
Well, where's Trump saying what's going on?
He's not.
That's the thing, is that she is promoting this. She is the one that's the spokesperson for this particular thing. And I think that we should just give her the benefit of the doubt and let it wait.
For how long? We've been giving her the benefit of the doubt for about a month now. Remember the binder scam that Scott Presler was involved with? That was about a month ago.
Yeah,
that's when they were supposed to release the files, and they're like, "Oh no, just kidding. Yeah, those are the old files that you already have. Everything's redacted. We're really working on the files now. Now we're doing it."
Well,
a couple weeks later.
I agree that if we don't get some arrests coming out really soon on this, then I've already lost faith. But
she says hundreds of victims. There's hundreds of victims. Who was the criminal to those victims? It wasn't Epstein all the time in all those victims. There was the client list. There was many people that raped those victims, and not a single one have been arrested, and we don't even know any of their names.
That's true. We don't know.
But Pam Bondi knows.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, they've got thousands of agents working around the clock for months on new files. She's got to know one name. There's got to be one Joe Schmo trucker who, he was Epstein's trucker friend that went to the island and raped some girls, and now Pam Bondi knows about Joe Schmo, but still has not made any arrests.
I agree. They need to make arrests. This is just outrageous for me, is that I voted for arrests. I voted for the bull in the china shop. I want arrests. And this is BS that they're not doing anything.
Let me show this. So this is the Department of Justice has listed 1,000 FBI agents, many of whom usually focus on national security. Let's pull them off of national security, but not that the FBI does anything anyways. To review the Epstein case files per ABC. 1,000 FBI agents working round the clock.
Well,
nothing.
You would think,
Couldn't they release like the first 10 pages, maybe?
yeah, you would think.
Here's 10 pages, guys, that are new. Nope, we're not going to give you those 10 pages. We had 1,000 agents working around the clock, but they didn't finish those first 10 pages yet. Not yet.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I mean, you know, come on, give us a little bit, at least, you know, just feed us a little bit. This is pretty outrageous. But I still believe that we need to give it's only been a month. We need to give them the benefit of the doubt, give them a couple of months, and after a couple of months, then I'm going to say, I'm done, and I'm going to start fighting against them because
They're
not
covering it up.
They're not doing what they were hired to do. And,
right, they're doing the opposite.
And we hired them to do that, and they're not doing that. So we need to stop them. I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know how we're going to do that.
Yeah. Take it easy there, Tiger. Careful what you say. No, all right. I agree. Let's go on to the next topic though, but we're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to that.
That's an ongoing topic.
Ongoing. Forever. All right. So this is a post from Colin Rugg, and it's talking about a California woman was charged with second-degree murder after a 56-year-old man told her to saran wrap him like a mummy. Oh, ties into our previous topic. Like a mummy, saran wrap him like a mummy, while she filmed explicit content. The OnlyFans creator, which we talked about OnlyFans before on the show, she's a wife, a mother of 3. Her name is Michaela Rylardsdam. It's an interesting name. Was charged after a paid fetish encounter turned deadly. And an Escondido man named Michael Dale suffocated while she, age 31, filmed content during their alleged 4-hour encounter. So yeah, if your oxygen supply is saran wrapped off for 4 hours, it's almost like wearing a double mask for 4 hours. You're going to suffocate. So Dale allegedly paid $11,000 to have her wrap him up in saran wrap like a mummy, glue woman's boots on him, and pour glue into his eyes to seal them shut. Police rushed to the scene, I guess after 4 hours, where they recovered video footage of Dale lying unresponsive while Rylardsdam performed a sex act next to him. You think she would notice that the guy's dead? I guess not.
Well, I mean, if you got him wrapped up like a mummy with saran wrap
and glue in his eyes, maybe not.
He's not going to move around a lot.
Yep. It was filmed with the intention of being posted on OnlyFans. Police say they found a bag over his head. That's suspicious. Rylardsdam denies placing the bag on his head. How did it get there?
Huh.
Did his dead corpse put the bag on his own head? I don't know. Dale was rushed to the hospital before being taken off life support days later. Rylardsdam's husband, Brandon, was well aware of her activities. That's a terrible husband. And helped her run her business. The couple had 3 children. She's being held in San Diego jail without bail. Sick people. Here's a little video. Let's just...
All right, it's time for 5 for 5. So I got 5 questions that just got shot at me, and I got 5 minutes to give. So why the rebound? Because we already knocked our competitors off the block. You want to be successful at your own thing. So now this is the year of business. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and we get that. I've never felt that everybody was meant to be a stripper forever. I know that this is something where you get in and you get out. You need people in your corner to help you grow. I did, and so I know what that means.
Grew into a murderer.
I know what that means for our guys. We finally have a company out here that takes care of it. So thank you so much for listening and taking the time today. That's it, folks. We're out of time. I've been counting it up. I probably went over 5 minutes, but we're gonna give it to you every week. 5 for 5.
I don't think she's giving it the 5 for 5 anymore because she's in jail.
Well, see, it's also she's an entrepreneur, and that kind of makes it sound like she's much better than just a prostitute. being videotaping herself.
Who murders her clients.
Well, I think that was probably purely accidental. That she did exactly what the guy asked to do, which caused him to die, and she just was unaware of what could cause people to die.
I mean,
I think that it was purely accidental, but on her part. But I think that, she still is.
Can she be sued for gross negligence?
Well, that's manslaughter.
It's manslaughter.
It may not be premeditated manslaughter. It might be just second degree manslaughter, but still, that's manslaughter. If you kill somebody, even if your intent was not to kill them, but you accidentally killed them, you're still killing them. They're still dead.
I'm going to bet that she is like out of jail already. What do you think?
Well, let's see.
Those woke judges, I'm sure you killed someone, out of jail right away. Let's see.
The latest.
Okay, so, oh my gosh. All right, let me share this. All right. So the Daily Mail posted on March 6th, the husband of the Saran wrap killer, Michaela Rylardsdam, breaks down in tears as he defends his sex worker wife. Wow. Nothing like going on the news and crying, playing the victim.
The beta male.
Yeah. Man, let's see.
Well, the thing is that I find is interesting.
She's still in jail, I guess.
She's not that good looking.
No, but that doesn't. Yeah.
If I'm going to have somebody kill me, I want a good looking woman kill me.
What?
If I'm going to do it, you might as well.
I guess, yeah. But he only had $11,000. So.
Wow, is that what it costs to kill somebody?
$11,000 seems like a lot to ask someone. Hey, can you just wrap me up in Saran wrap or glue in my eyes? I don't know if I'd pay $11,000 for that.
Well, I think you have a different perspective on life. That's pretty weird. To me, it does. I kind of don't believe that that's actually what really happened.
Apparently, her X account was deactivated. Let's ask Grok what's going on with her. There's an Ask Grok thing. Oh. Is she in prison still? All right, we're gonna find out what Grok thinks she's in prison or not.
Grok.
Don't give me any bullshit, Grok. Okay, let's see. She's arrested February 2025, charged with second-degree murder, April 2023. Oh, this is a while ago. So the actual death happened in 2023. Being held without bail in San Diego County. She pleaded not guilty. How is she pleading not guilty? There's video of it. She videoed the whole thing. How is she not guilty?
Well, you always plead not. That's
That's
the lawyer thing. Never plead guilty.
Man.
You always plead not guilty, and then they try and plea deal it down. But see, though, this is not even current news.
Grok thinks she's still in custody.
Wow. Well, she is. Now she has the infamous name of being the
Saran wrap killer. Saran wrap killer.
Wow.
Not guilty. Well, that's crazy. All right. Well, we've been going for what is it, an hour and 15 minutes now, something like that.
Yeah.
We talked about some weird stuff. That last one was depressing. It was weird and depressing.
Weird and depressing.
So I'm going to ask you if you have something positive, but you got to go to something new. You got to go new positive, something that you haven't said before.
Okay. Well, this is something that I made a long time ago. I still believe, it still seems to me to be true. And, it's like, life is like, it always says, life is like a box of chocolates. Well, that's bullshit. Life is like the game of solitaire. Now, if you think about it, you play the game by yourself. There's all these people around there that are trying to tell you how to play the game, but ultimately, you play the game by yourself,
Right.
so it's your game.
Right.
And if you really, really pay attention, you win. So life is like the game of salt.
I like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's kind
Makes
of
me
an
think about
interesting way of thinking about it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you again to all our viewers. We do want you to follow us at magamindpodcast.com. You can follow me on X at Brian Ference1 and
James Richard, Sir Runcible Spoon on X.
And then also wherever you get your podcast, you can listen and subscribe to the audio only version. Just search for MAGA Mind Podcast. MAGA Mind's one word, MAGAMIND, and then podcast, PODCAST, in case you don't know how to spell that. Wherever you get your podcast. But thank you again to all our viewers. Please do follow us, watch our older episodes. And I want to say thank you again and God bless.
Thank you.
I'm going to stop that stream and stop this one.